One video destroyed Mina's life overnight. By sunrise, millions of people had watched her humiliation. Strangers laughed at her. Classmates turned her into a joke. Even people who had never met her believed she deserved it. But while everyone was sharing the viral video, someone else was hiding a different recording. A recording that clearly showed the attack on Mina was never an accident. And if that video ever became public, the most powerful girl at Westbridge High would lose everything. But before the truth could be revealed, someone was willing to do anything to make sure it stayed buried. Part 1. The morning after. The video spread faster than anyone could have imagined. By sunrise, it had already reached millions of views across social media. The title read, "New Girl Humiliated at Elite High School." People who had never heard of Westbridge High shared the clip. Some laughed. Some made cruel jokes. Others created memes using Mina's shocked expression. No one knew her story. No one asked what had really happened. To the internet, she was simply another viral video. Mina sat on the edge of her bed, staring blankly at her phone. Her notifications wouldn't stop. Hundreds of strangers had tagged her. Thousands of comments flooded the video. She deserved it. Why is she crying? This is hilarious. Someone send this girl home. She quickly turned off the screen. The silence in her room felt heavier than the noise online. She hadn't slept all night. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard the laughter from the auditorium again. Every face. Every phone pointed at her. Every whisper. It replayed in her mind like an endless nightmare. A gentle knock came from the bedroom door. Mina? It was her mother. Can I come in? Mina quickly wiped away the tears she didn't want anyone to see. Yes. Mrs. Carter entered carrying 2 cups of hot tea. She sat beside her daughter without saying a word. For a few moments, neither of them spoke. Finally, Mrs. Carter looked at Mina. You don't have to pretend you're okay. Those simple words broke the wall Mina had been trying so hard to build. I'm sorry, Mom. I wanted this school to be a fresh start. I thought everything would be different. Her mother gently held her hand. Do you remember what your father always used to say? Mina nodded slowly. People can take your money. They can take your reputation. But they can never take your character unless you give it away. Mrs. Carter smiled softly. You are still the same girl you were yesterday. What happened doesn't define you. Mina lowered her head. But everyone hates me. Her mother shook her head. No. They only hate the story they were told. And stories. She gently squeezed Mina's hand. Can change. Across town, another student was having a very different morning. Ryan sat alone in his room, replaying the viral video. His jaw tightened. He knew exactly what had happened backstage. He had seen the fishing line just 1 second too late. This wasn't an accident. He whispered the words to himself. Someone had planned everything. Someone wanted to destroy Mina. His phone buzzed. A new message from one of his teammates appeared. Bro, your girlfriend is famous now. Another followed. Didn't know you liked scholarship girls. Ryan immediately threw his phone onto the bed. This isn't funny. He knew the rumors were getting worse. And every minute he stayed silent, more people believed them. Meanwhile, inside a luxurious mansion overlooking the city, Jisoo enjoyed breakfast with her father. Large windows filled the dining room with morning sunlight. Servants quietly prepared the table. Her father glanced at his tablet. Your school is all over the news. Jisoo looked up with practiced innocence. Oh? There was some kind of accident. I heard a new student embarrassed herself during the welcome ceremony. Jisoo lowered her eyes. I felt terrible for her. Her father smiled proudly. You've always had a kind heart. Make sure the school helps that girl. Westbridge doesn't need bad publicity. Jisoo smiled politely. I will. But the moment her father left the room, her expression changed completely. She opened the viral video. Millions of views, thousands of laughing comments. Exactly as she had planned. So much attention. She whispered, Let's see how long you survive now, Mina. At Westbridge High, students gathered around their phones before first period. The video played over and over again. Groups laughed together. Some copied Mina's shocked expression. Others pretended to pour invisible paint on each other. Lily walked through the hallway with a satisfied grin. This is even bigger than I expected. One student asked, Did you hear? What? Some news pages are posting it now. Lily laughed. The new girl became famous overnight. She didn't notice Ethan standing only a few feet away. He quietly listened to every word. His eyes remained fixed on his phone, not the viral video. A different video. His own recording. Frame by frame, he carefully examined the footage from the auditorium. The bucket. The fishing line. The students backstage. And he paused the video. For less than 1 second. A hand. Someone pulling the line. The face wasn't visible, but the sleeve was. Dark navy. Student council uniform. Ethan leaned back in his chair. So, you really did plan everything. He copied the video onto a secure drive, then deleted it from his phone. If they realize I have this, they'll come after me next. Just before the first bell rang, Ryan walked into the school courtyard. Students immediately stared at him. He ignored every whisper. Instead, he opened his social media account. His fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then he typed one sentence. What happened yesterday wasn't an accident. He pressed post. Within seconds, the comments exploded. What do you mean? Are you serious? Do you have proof? Was someone behind it? Across the hallway, Jisoo's phone vibrated. She opened Ryan's post. Her confident smile disappeared. For the first time since Mina arrived at Westbridge, something wasn't going according to plan. Part 2, A Perfect Lie. Ryan's post spread across Westbridge High within minutes. Students who had laughed at Mina yesterday suddenly had something new to talk about. What does Ryan mean? Was the paint really planned? Is someone lying? The comments multiplied by the second. For the first time since the video went viral, people weren't only talking about Mina. They were questioning the story itself. At exactly 8 o'clock, every classroom speaker came to life. Attention, students. Principal Kim's calm voice echoed throughout the school. All student council members and class representatives are requested to report to the conference room immediately. The announcement ended. Students exchanged curious looks. What happened? Is this about yesterday? I heard the principal is furious. Within minutes, the conference room was full. Teachers lined one side of the room. The student council stood silently near the windows. Ryan arrived with the class representatives. Jisoo entered last, her face carrying just the right amount of concern. Principal Kim looked around the room. Yesterday's incident has damaged Westbridge High's reputation. She paused. I want the truth. The room fell completely silent. Mr. Park spoke first. Mina insists someone deliberately targeted her. Several teachers nodded thoughtfully. Before anyone else could respond, Jisoo raised her hand. Her voice trembled slightly. I feel responsible. Everyone turned toward her. As student council president, I should have checked the stage more carefully. Her eyes became watery. I'm so sorry this happened. A few students immediately looked sympathetic. One teacher even smiled. It wasn't your fault, Jisoo. You've always been responsible. Another teacher added, it was probably just a terrible accident. Jisoo lowered her head. I'm just glad Mina wasn't seriously hurt. Ryan watched quietly from across the room. Everything about her apology felt rehearsed. Too perfect. Too calm. Outside the conference room, Lily waited impatiently. The moment Jisoo stepped into the hallway, she whispered, You almost had me believing your own act. Jisoo smiled faintly. People believe what they expect to see, and they expect me to be the perfect student. Lily laughed. So the investigation is over. Jisoo looked back toward the conference room. Not yet, but they'll never find anything. Meanwhile, Hana stood alone near the auditorium stage. Something had bothered her since yesterday. She slowly retraced every step Mina had taken. The backstage curtains had already been cleaned. The bucket was gone. The floor had been washed. Almost every trace had disappeared. Almost. As sunlight shined through the backstage doorway, something caught her eye. A tiny piece of transparent fishing line was tangled beneath a metal support beam. She crouched down. No way. Carefully, she pulled it free. It was only a few inches long, but it hadn't broken naturally. One end had been cleanly cut. Hana stared at it. Someone had used fishing line, exactly where Ryan said he saw it. She immediately slipped it into her notebook. Not far away, Ethan watched from the second-floor balcony. He had seen Hannah pick up the evidence. Good. Someone else is finally paying attention. He quietly took another photo. Not of Hana. Of the empty stage. Every detail mattered now. Back inside the conference room, Principal Kim turned toward the school's technology manager. What about the security cameras? The man opened his laptop. We checked every camera around the auditorium. And he hesitated. There appears to be a problem. What kind of problem? The recordings between 2:10 p.m. and 2:35 p.m. yesterday are missing. The room erupted with whispers. Missing? How? The technician swallowed nervously. It looks like the files were deleted. Principal Kim frowned. Can they be recovered? We're trying. But someone with administrator access erased them. Ryan's eyes narrowed. Administrator access? Students couldn't do that. Only school staff or someone with very high privileges. Across the room, Jisoo remained perfectly still. Inside, however, her heart skipped a beat. The cameras were supposed to be disabled, not deleted. Someone had erased the footage after the incident. But who? She hadn't given that order. For the first time, even Jisoo realized there was another player involved. Someone she didn't know. Someone powerful enough to enter the school's security system. After the meeting ended, students flooded the hallways. Rumors changed direction almost instantly. The cameras were deleted. It wasn't an accident. I heard someone sabotage the stage. No. I heard the principal is hiding something. The school that had mocked Mina yesterday was now consumed by a different question. Who was telling the truth? Ryan walked toward the library, deep in thought. Halfway down the hallway, Hana caught up with him. I found something. She carefully showed him the piece of fishing line. Ryan stared at it. This is exactly what I saw. So you weren't imagining it? No. He clenched the line tightly in his hand. This proved someone set the trap. But proving that, he looked down the crowded hallway. And proving who did it are two very different things. From the opposite end of the corridor, Jisoo silently watched them. Her eyes shifted from Ryan to the fishing line in his hand. Her expression didn't change, but behind her calm smile, a new plan was already beginning to form. Part 3: The Hidden Witness. The rumors spread through Westbridge High faster than the morning rain. Yesterday, everyone had been laughing at Mina. Today, everyone wanted to know who had planned the attack. The school had become divided. Some students believed Mina. Others insisted she was only trying to gain sympathy. And a few were quietly waiting to see who would fall first. Mina spent the afternoon alone in the library. The silence was comforting. No whispers. No cameras. No mocking voices. She opened her science textbook, hoping to focus on her homework. Instead, she found herself staring at the same page for nearly 20 minutes. She couldn't stop thinking about the missing security footage. If someone had deleted it, then someone inside the school was protecting the attacker. That thought frightened her more than the paint ever had. As she packed her books to leave, a folded piece of paper slipped between the pages. She frowned. She was certain it hadn't been there before. Slowly, she unfolded it. Only one sentence was written: "Meet me on the rooftop after school. Come alone." There was no name, no signature. Mina looked around the library. Students were reading quietly. No one seemed to be watching her. For a moment, she considered throwing the note away. But something deep inside told her this message was important. After the final bell rang, Mina climbed the narrow staircase leading to the rooftop. The evening sky was painted in soft shades of orange and purple. A cool breeze swept across the empty rooftop. She looked around. Hello? No answer. She took another cautious step. I got your note. A voice came from behind her. You actually came. Mina turned. Standing near the safety fence was Ethan. His hands were tucked into the pockets of his jacket. His expression remained as unreadable as ever. So, Mina asked carefully, "It was you?" Ethan nodded. I needed to make sure no one followed you. Mina folded her arms. Why? You've been watching me since my first day. I've seen you. You were at the auditorium. You were outside my apartment. Who are you? For the first time, Ethan smiled. Someone trying to keep you alive. Mina stared at him in disbelief. What does that mean? Ethan looked toward the empty football field below. Tell me something. Do you really think yesterday was only about bullying? Mina hesitated. I don't know anymore. It wasn't. He reached into his backpack and removed a small tablet. I recorded everything. Mina's eyes widened. You have the video? I have part of it. He pressed play. The recording showed the backstage area moments before the ceremony. Students rushed around preparing for the event. Then, the camera zoomed in. A figure wearing a student council blazer walked behind the curtain. The person bent down beside the bucket. Seconds later, a hand reached toward the fishing line. The line tightened. Then, the video suddenly froze. Static filled the screen. The recording ended. Mina looked at Ethan. That's all? He nodded. Someone interfered with my camera signal. You can clearly see someone pulling the line, but not their face. Mina watched the final frame again. The sleeve. The blazer. The silver student council badge. It wasn't an accident. It was planned. Before Mina could ask another question, Ethan lowered the tablet. There's something even more important. He looked directly into her eyes. This attack wasn't about embarrassing you. It was a warning. A warning? For what? Ethan hesitated. I don't know yet. But whoever planned this expected you to leave Westbridge. And when you didn't, they started changing their strategy. A chill ran down Mina's spine. Why would anyone care if I stayed? Ethan didn't answer immediately. Instead, he asked a different question. Did your father ever work at Westbridge? Mina froze. How do you know about my father? Ethan's face became serious. Because someone has been searching for him for the last 17 years. At that exact moment, a black sedan was parked outside the school gates. Inside the car sat Principal Kim. She wasn't alone. A man wearing black gloves handed her a folder. The girl still has the wooden box. Principal Kim slowly nodded. And the boy. Ethan is getting involved. Silence filled the car. Finally, Principal Kim spoke. He must never show anyone that recording. The man looked surprised. Should we take it? Principal Kim stared through the windshield toward the rooftop. No. Not yet. If we move too early, she'll start asking the wrong questions. Back on the rooftop, Mina stepped closer to Ethan. You know something. I can see it. Please. Tell me the truth. Ethan looked away. I can't. Not yet. If you know too much, you'll become their next target. Before Mina could stop him, Ethan handed her a small memory card. Hide this. If anything happens to me, don't let anyone find it. What is it? My original recording. Mina carefully slipped the memory card into her pocket. She looked back up, but Ethan was already walking toward the rooftop door. Just before disappearing inside, he stopped. Without turning around, he said quietly, "Don't trust everyone who's trying to help you." Then he was gone. Mina stood alone beneath the evening sky. The memory card felt strangely heavy in her pocket. She had come to Westbridge hoping for a better education. Instead, she had become part of a mystery that had started long before she was born, ending the USB drive. The streets were quiet as Mina walked home. The memory card Ethan had given her felt heavy inside her pocket. Every step replayed the conversation on the rooftop. This wasn't bullying. It was a warning. Don't trust everyone who's trying to help you. Those words refused to leave her mind. When Mina arrived home, the apartment lights were already on. The smell of homemade soup filled the room. Mrs. Carter smiled as Mina entered. Long day? Mina forced a small smile. You could say that. Her mother noticed the exhaustion in her eyes but didn't ask any questions. Instead, she placed a bowl of soup on the table. You should eat first. Mina nodded. For a little while, everything almost felt normal. Later that night, rain began tapping softly against the windows. Mina sat at her desk, staring at the old wooden box that had belonged to her father. She carefully removed the faded photograph again. Her father, Principal Kim, standing side by side, both smiling. They looked like close friends. It didn't make sense. If Principal Kim had known her father, why had she acted like they had never met? Mina slowly turned the photograph over once more. The handwritten message remained the same. If anything happens to me, trust no one at Westbridge. She whispered the words aloud. What happened to you? A sudden knock echoed through the apartment. 3 slow knocks. Then silence. Mrs. Carter looked toward the door. Were you expecting someone? Mina shook her head. No. Her mother opened the door. The hallway outside was empty. No footsteps. No voices. Only the sound of rain. There isn't anyone here. She looked down. A large brown envelope rested on the welcome mat. No return address. She picked it up and handed it to Mina. I wonder who left this. Mina carefully opened the envelope. Inside were only two things: a black USB drive and a folded note. Her heartbeat quickened. She unfolded the paper. Only one sentence was written: "Trust Ethan." Below it, another sentence: "Don't trust the principal." Mina read the words again. And again. Someone knew about Ethan. Someone knew about Principal Kim. Someone had been watching everything. At the exact same moment, across the street from the apartment building, a black luxury sedan sat with its headlights turned off. Inside, Principal Kim silently watched Mina's apartment through the rain-covered windshield. Beside her sat the same man in black gloves. The envelope has been delivered. He spoke without looking away from the building. Principal Kim nodded slowly. Good. But she'll have questions. That's exactly what we want. The man frowned. You want her investigating? Principal Kim's expression remained unreadable. I want her looking in the wrong direction. Back inside the apartment, Mina plugged the USB drive into her old laptop. The screen flickered. Only one video file appeared. No title. No date. No information. She hesitated, then clicked play. The recording was old. The image was grainy. A younger Principal Kim stood inside what looked like a school office. Across the desk sat Mina's father. They were arguing. The audio was damaged. Most of the conversation was impossible to hear. Only a few words remained clear. Her father stood abruptly. You promised. The recording crackled. Principal Kim answered. I had no choice. Another burst of static. Then, her father leaned across the desk. His voice became clear for just one sentence. If she ever comes to Westbridge, they'll find her. Mina froze. She? Was he talking about her? Before the recording could continue, the screen suddenly turned black. Video file corrupted. Mina clicked it again. Nothing. The file had somehow destroyed itself after playing once. She stared at the empty screen. Her breathing became uneven. Someone had gone through extraordinary lengths to send her that message and to make sure she could only watch it once. Across town, Ethan sat alone in his room, staring at his phone. One new message appeared from an unknown number. She has the USB. A second message arrived only seconds later. You're running out of time. Ethan's expression hardened. He immediately grabbed his jacket and rushed out the door. For the first time, fear appeared in his eyes. Far away, in a dimly lit underground storage room beneath Westbridge High, an old metal cabinet stood hidden behind stacks of forgotten files. Inside the cabinet was a faded student record. Across the top was a name: Mina Carter. Below it, stamped in bright red ink, were two chilling words: sealed file. A gloved hand slowly closed the cabinet. Then a quiet voice whispered from the darkness. She remembers nothing, but she will soon. To be continued.